This is Tim from Contentstack, and let's talk about how you can set up Live Preview or Visual Builder in Contentstack when you have a middleware layer in between your website and the CMS. So a lot of questions that we get from our customers and our partners and our developers is, hey, we built this layer in between the CMS endpoints and the front end so we can control the data a bit more on our end. Maybe we want to add some more data into it or we want to do our own caching. This is all very valid with headless CMSs, right? And so at Contentstack, we love doing things in a really agnostic way, in a really open way. And because of that, if you have a middleware layer, it's not actually a big problem. You can still do the live preview stuff. And so let's just, go over the example that I have here. So this is my code base. And well, before we go there, let's have a look. So this is actually that little code base here. And as you can see, this is Visual Builder and it kind of just works. I can change, my images, do other stuff, whatever I want. This kind of just works as live preview or even visual building. And so if you see those three items here, if you have watched the how live preview works under the hood video in the same series, you know what these mean. There's always a hash that is specifically for the user that you are editing this stuff in draft mode. So we know for you, this is your draft mode and this is what we have to send to your website. And then we need to, of course, know the UID of the item you're changing and what the type of this is. And in this case, that's a page. So this information, if you send this stuff to your middleware and change the URL that you're querying, our draft endpoint, that's all you need to do and it works. So let's have a look at the code for a second. So in the code here, this is a setup in Next 15, which is very clean. There's almost nothing to it other than this is an SSR type project. And I have one function here for Contentstack Live Preview, which is a use client that just in the client side, if it's all turned on, initializes Live Preview. And what that looks like is actually very simple. You've seen this in our other videos if you watch these in this series, where we initialize our Live Preview from our external package. Which is this one, Live Preview Utils. And in here, the only thing you have to remember is set it to SSR is true. Because we're going to have to do an SSR call to your middleware, which then does its stuff and returns the information back to us. And so we do this through SSR. Because if we do it in CSR, so in client side, we subscribe to events directly from the CMS. But you cannot do that if you have a middleware. So set it to SSR is true. And then in your page, these are the following things you have to do, because in Next 15, you get the search params as a promise. So we await the headers and then we get the search params. And so this is live preview, entry UID, and content type UID. All of those are always sent to this iframe on the URL. So you get those. I'm just typing them out here so you can see them. And so for now, so if you are not in the live preview settings, I just hard coded this just for this demo's sake, but normally you get this information. And so if live preview is turned on, this is my little middleware that I built here. This is currently in my own app because why not? This is an example, but this can be anywhere. And so what I'm sending this middleware is the following: my content type UID, in this case page, the entry we are changing, and the fact that we have this live preview hash, which is this one. So these three things are sent to my middleware. And if I'm not in live preview, it only sends it the UID and the entry, so without the live preview stuff. And so when we actually go to that middleware, this is how you would normally call our API anyways, right? You would always set headers for our API key, access token, create your host name, and then just query. So this is basically how our API works. In the description of this video, you'll find documentation to the API endpoints and how those work. And so the thing is, if this live preview thing is sent, then you change the URL to the live preview endpoint rather than the CDN. And also you add this live preview hash, this one, and you add your preview token, the one you have set in your CMS, which you can find here. Let's not save this. Actually, you can go here in your delivery token. You see your preview token, delivery token, and stack API key. And the only thing you actually have to do is change the URL to the draft API endpoint and add these two headers. And that's all you need to do. and it starts working. And so actually all the changes that we do here, every change that's done now, it's actually querying the middleware API. That queries our draft endpoint. This middleware gets the information and sends it back to my code. And so you can see that here. So this actually just returns whatever that entry JSON is. And then in the page, well, this get content function fetches that URL and it returns the JSON. And that's all there is to it. And now the only thing you literally have changed is the base URL you query, and you add 2 headers. That's it. If you have any questions, feel free to join us at our Discord at community.contentstack.com. Ask any question you have, and happy coding. Cheers.